So many people I hear go, I can't stick it. I can't stick to anything. I always fail. And I'm like, it is not you. I promise you, it is not you. It is those programs that you are trying because they're not teaching you how to change your habits, how to change your behaviors, and how to look at things in a long term setting. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Diet Culture Can Fork Off. So, this episode, I'm going to talk about the chaos of December because we hit the 1st of December, haven't we? And, well, that was yesterday. But it's a lot. It is a lot, December. So I want to talk about all the things that come with this time of year because there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of food noise, there's a lot of overwhelm, there's a lot of pressure. And as much as it can be a fun time of year, we can also struggle. And that's okay. So I want to talk a bit more about it because I have to admit, like, I'm not the most Christmassy person. And it's not that I don't like it or I don't enjoy it. It's just I find it really hard to go like into full on merry mode, if that's what it's called. I don't know. But I have struggled as well. I have struggled in this time of year in the past. And there are years that I've had this like uneasy feeling or don't feel quite right. And I don't think that is talked about enough. And it's something that I've been talking about with my clients recently as well, because some of them struggle as well. It's a time of year that, things can feel a bit off. It can highlight certain, I guess, struggles as well that you've been struggling. Like, for example, for me, I did spend a lot of my time in my 20s and my 30s single. So for me, it used to bring this overwhelming sense of loneliness, like this heavy feeling in my chest and in my stomach. Like there was this like empty space. It's really hard to describe, but all I can describe is this like heavy, empty feeling in my chest. And it used to make me feel really, really sad and really low and really down. Um, and even going home, and then you're surrounded by couples. And it just makes it even like, it can just make it even worse. So that's something I used to struggle with a lot. And again, it comes down to those societal tick boxes, doesn't it? That you're meant to, you're meant to be sorted like at that time. You're meant to be married or have kids or like have a house with like your white picket fence or whatever it is. But I feel like this time of year can really just highlight those social norms or those things that we're meant to have, those tick boxes, which, as you know, I think is a load of bullshit now. Like, but I think as well because I struggled with it, and then I realised that I actually didn't want those things. So, like, this is where I learned about my values, and obviously I've talked about values before, and it's something that we do quite in depth within Empower as well on the one-to-one coaching, because yes, it can bring up all these things, like thinking that I had failed because I was not living up to the societal norms, but I didn't actually want them. And maybe you don't too. And this is why it's important to actually go reflect on it and be. I was actually, talking, it just reminded me of something else actually. I was talking to one of my clients the other day about her work, and she was getting annoyed with the people that work part time, and she noticed her mood was changing. And I said, okay, well, let's just assess your values and what do you actually want out of work? And then we got down to the bottom of it that she actually does like being busy and she does want to work full time. She would get bored if she worked part time. And yeah, so it's just like that sometimes. Like when we find ourselves getting angry, it's like, well, actually, do I want that life? Do I want that? And that can really help. So that's my little tip for you. Go back to your values. So yeah, so going back to this time of year, I don't like crowds either. I don't like crowds of people. I was saying the other day that I think I'm one of those like confident introvert extroverts, is that what it's called? Whereas like with my small group of friends, like with like when I come across on social media and stuff, I can be like the most confident person at all. I'm very confident in myself. But put me in a crowd of people with loads of people I don't know, I go back to my like shy little self. I struggle to like speak up sometimes, and I do struggle in big crowds of people that I don't know. Absolutely do, and that's okay. I am quite confident with who I am, and I love like talking to all my clients. I love talking to you guys. But yeah, put me into crowd of people I don't know. Different story. But anyway, Yeah, so I find going to like markets and, Christmas events like, God, Winter Wonderland in London and stuff like I've been a few times when I lived there. Craziness. And I used to find it really, really overwhelming and a bit much. And it's all just a bit like, I can't cope. Like, I don't like it was just molded noise into one and it's too much. Anyway, so I have been called a Scrooge many of times because of this. I have because I don't want to go to certain things. God, I hated Christmas, like the office Christmas parties and stuff like that. I used to just leave early or just like not go. Sometimes I didn't go. Um, but that's okay. I do really love to see other people happy and enjoy themselves. So it's not really about that. It's just for my own, like, protection, I guess. It just doesn't make me feel good. Like, so I've learned now that it's okay to say no, set boundaries around it. It's what we teach as well. It's what I teach inside the coaching, like to be able to protect your energy, to honor your energy, and to set boundaries around these things. And it's okay. And I'm just explaining that I feel like when I talk to my clients about this stuff, a lot of them feel quite alone, and that other people don't feel this way, or that they should be feeling merry and happy all the time, all through December. And that's why I really wanted to create this podcast as well, to let you know that you're not alone. And I bet a lot of you that are listening to this right now feel the same. Like, because I know it comes up with my clients. And if you're anything like my clients, then you're definitely my vibe. So, like, yeah, like I said, I used to have this really uneasy feeling. Like it used to bring back like the that loneliness, that sense of loneliness, but also it can bring back memories as well. Like maybe you have suffered a loss during this time, or it brings back memories of maybe people that aren't around anymore, that we're close to. And I think what is really, really important is that you don't push these feelings away, because it's important to have them. If you push them away, they will come out in other ways. Trust me, that's what happens. So it's really important that you do feel the feels. Feel the feels. Have a cry. It's all good. Like, you don't have to feel joyful for the whole of December. We're human beings, we have emotions. Like, and I feel like we have to like put this like fake mask smile on for the whole time. Um, but it's okay to pick and choose what you want to go to and what where you're going to show that. Like, of course I'm going to have times where I'm going to go out. I've got a bottomless brunch with my mates like on the 20th of December. Definitely, that's something that I've chosen to do. But yeah, I've turned down other like things that won't be, that I won't be myself at or won't enjoy, and therefore, you know I'm not going to be my best self. So I'd rather save my energy to be my best self at those events that I want to go to. So yeah, like I said, pressure to be this merry December, and just feel like I said, feel the feels. God, I lost my train of thought there, but I was like it's okay to have some time on your own. It's okay to shut off the Christmas music, the Christmas films, if that's something you want to do. It's okay to take a moment for yourself. Like, we don't, like, I always feel like I don't want people to tell me how I should feel. Like, I get my bee in my bonnet about that anyway. Like, don't get me started on people that tell you how you should feel around your cycles. And there are coaches that tell you, like, oh, by the way, on this phase, you're going to feel like this. No, it's not the same every month. And actually, like I feel, I've got some PBs on that, like on the time of the month. So no, I don't need to crawl under a blanket. Some people might do, not all. So don't tell me how I should feel. Anyway, sorry. This is me having a rant. Me having a rant about people telling me how I should feel. So anyway, if you're listening to this and you have all these feelings, you're feeling this, you are not alone. Like I just said, like honestly, so many people I speak to struggle at this time of year. So many of my clients struggle at this time of year. And I feel like it's important to have these open conversations. Doesn't mean you're a Scrooge. It doesn't mean that you don't enjoy certain parts of it. It just means that, it can be a bit much sometimes. Like it can be hard. Absolutely. Like for some, like if you find like all like the noise and the lights, the music, like just too overwhelming, and then you're like forced to go to the office Christmas party. Like I said, I used to hate it, but sometimes I feel like I had to go, or I was like a miserable, or oh, there, why are you so? What's I can't think of the words now, but when people are just like, all right, misery guts, why aren't you coming to the Christmas party? And it's like, well, actually, I don't enjoy it. But yeah, didn't really hated it. What I'd rather do, I used to say this, I used to be like, well, I'd rather, I didn't say it to them, by the way. I'd like just said it to my friends. I was like, I'd actually rather just hang out with a few close friends, to be honest. Like, maybe go to the pub with them, have a bit of a time, but like, just the people that I actually want to spend my time with and my energy with as well. So I think that's really important to remember. Like, you know, if you're because if you're like me and you're a bit of an awkward turtle in front of people that you're not that close to, like I definitely have fear of judgment, like there and stuff like that. Like I have got better now, to be honest, but I just didn't really want to spend my time and energy with those people. It didn't mean I didn't like them or I didn't respect them. It's just when you're struggling with overwhelm and a lot, like you struggle with your energy and you need to recharge your batteries, you need to pick and choose. You need to pick and choose who you spend that time and energy with. And that's okay. That's totally okay. You know? I don't know why that's like you were made to feel so shit about it, to be honest. But anyway. But like, yeah, this time of year, it's not just about that. It's not just about this overwhelm and energy. It's about the food and body image as well. You know, there's food everywhere, every corner. Office, if you work in an office, I know what it's like. I did as well. And the treats are everywhere, the chocolate. You can't, you can't like, I don't know, you can't move for mince pies at times. Like, what the hell goes on? Like, there's so much food around. And so the food noise is just amplified, it's elevated, and that can be even harder if you're struggling with that and with your food relationship as well. So body image as well, like comments made by family members, it's people you haven't seen for a while, all that comes up as well. But what I actually do is I help my clients like set boundaries around this and how to handle unwanted comments. And actually, I was explaining to one client about like a little imaginary protective bubble to put around yourself so you don't absorb like the negative energy. And I also talk about like how not to accept certain emotional gifts that people try to give you. Yeah, it gets a bit woo woo. I'm afraid I can't give too much away on what I do because obviously that's for my lovely clients inside the one-to-one coaching. Yeah, so but I do talk a lot about like this is why when I say about my coaching is far more than training and exercise program, I do talk a lot about this, like how to honor your energy, how to set boundaries, how to prioritize workload, stress management. It all comes in because you need to be able to look up after those things to then be able to look after your physical health. Okay, mental health comes into it, then the physical health as well. Holistic approach. So yeah, food is everywhere. And if you're struggling with food guilt and that binge restrict cycle, it can be an absolute nightmare because you go even more into that kind of binge restrict cycle. Like on the days that like you're not doing anything, you're heavily like restricting, or then you're filling up on all the junk that's around in the office, and then going like, oh, I better skip meals because now I've eaten all that. I know because I used to do it. Okay, so like, and this is why I coach like I do because I've been through all of this, and I know that's how I feel. Like you couldn't stop because the Quality Streets tins was right there, and every time you walk past, you have to grab one, and you're doing it mindlessly. You're not aware of what you're doing. So it can be even more like that shame, that guilt spiral can be even more amplified along with the food noise. Um, you can really sometimes just press that fuck it button in December. Actually, like, yes. Did you know that people do put on the most weight in these months? From the end of November to early Jan is when people actually put on the most weight. I guess because, again, that fuck it button comes in. You go like, well, it's December, so I might as well just go up. Oh, there's too many things. But actually, like, how many days are you actually going out? How many days are actually Christmas? Yes, I know that there's extra food around, but if you learn how to balance and learn how to have a better relationship with food. You can enjoy those things, but without going absolutely crazy and pressing the fuck it button, because it's actually something that we do. Like, honestly, like, it's really good to hear that, like, how my cuts are, because I'm gonna, and me too. Like, I enjoy those foods, but it's like I don't try to eat it all in one go and think that, oh no, because I need to eat it all now, because otherwise I won't be able to have it again. Or I eat it all now and then it's all gone and then I start in January. Again, that creates that mindset that creates a poor relationship with food, and it does create that binge restrict cycle, just that way of thinking as well. Because actually, if you think about it, these foods are pretty much available all year round. Most of them, they're just packaged up in different ways. So, we don't live in a world now where we can't have access to certain things, especially, where we live. Like, we do have access to a lot of these foods for most of the year. So, the scarcity is what we start to create in our minds. And then it's like, well, I've got to eat it. I've got to eat it now. So, yes. So, there we go. The food, yeah. Like, I am not surprised though, to be fair. Like, if you are someone that struggles, like, it is pushed on you everywhere. Like, so you do give up. You just don't care. And you just, like, have that start again in January mindset. But honestly, it really doesn't have to be this way. You can enjoy this time of year without pressing the fuck it button and still enjoy those social occasions and going out. It's exactly what I teach my clients in December, because we have tools to help learn how to balance, lean into your values without everything going out the window. I've just created our next webinar for December, which is going to be all about how to create those anchor points that I talk about quite a lot, how to manage routines being a bit out, because people do struggle when when your routines are out and your structure's out, things can feel a bit all over the place, and again that brings that uneasy feeling, and that can bring on things like emotional eating as well. So it's really important that you learn how to create those flexible structures and routines, which I'm all about, how to create these anchor points. I can bang on about this all day because I get very excited about how I teach my clients this. But anyway, because when it does come to your health and fitness, and I think this is what people forget, is that it does need to be what you can do for life. Okay, so it shouldn't be a short-term 6-week shred, because those things don't teach you how to do things long-term. Yeah, okay, might have lost weight, or you've done a program and you've lost weight, but then what happens? You fall back into old habits, back into old routines, back into old behaviors, because you haven't been taught how to change. And that's what's really key, because otherwise you have this stop, start, which is actually yo-yo dieting. And then you feel like you're always on this never ending cycle of being on a diet and off a diet, on a diet, off a diet. Oh, I have to I've put on weight again, now I have to lose weight. And it's just not good. One, for your physical health, or two, for your mental well-being, because you feel like then you can't stick to anything. And so many people I hear go, I can't stick it. I can't stick to anything. I always fail. And I'm like, it is not you. I promise you it is not you. It is those programs that you are trying, because they're not teaching you how to change your habits, how to change your behaviors, and how to look at things in a long-term setting. When I work with my clients, I'm like, this is not a diet. We look at what they're already eating and just tweak things. And they're like, wow, I've got the results and I don't ever feel like I'm on a diet. And I was like, good, you shouldn't. This should be what you should just do for the rest of your life. It's just to be how you live. It shouldn't be like another chore, another thing to do. It's just how you show up every day without even thinking about it. And I know that might sound impossible, but I promise you it is absolutely possible, because I do it every single day. I live it and I live that. I go yes, I go to the gym, but it's part of it's just part of my routine. And I promise you, there's some days that I don't want to go. But it's just I just do this. This is the person I am. I make certain food choices because that's what I do. I don't even track anymore. It's just how I show up every day, and that's what I help my clients do. Because I know I bang on about flexibility and stuff like that, but it is so key. You need to learn how to build flexible routines, because life is life. You will always be busy. Have you ever thought have you think about your adult life? has there ever been a time that you've gone like, oh, everything's calm for like the month? No, like it's not. It's busy. You've got work, you've got family, you've got responsibilities. It's always busy. There's always stresses. There's always things coming around the corner that we didn't expect. But what you need to do to be able to create that sustainable, healthy lifestyle is learn how to do that, how to cope when those things are thrown at you and how to create that flexibility. And then when you learn that, things like the holidays in December, you're just like, right, I know how to handle this. And actually I read that in my one of my clients check-in this week. She's like, yeah, it's a bit chaotic, but I know exactly what I'm doing. I know how to handle this. Perfect. That's what I want to hear. That is what I want to hear. So honestly, I could go on and on and on and on about this, but I do want to talk about something that I've just created as well to help break those yo-yo diets. So I have launched my brand new 6-week coaching program. This is a 6-week experience, I guess I would say. For those who are not sure about one-to-one coaching yet, or maybe it's not accessible, because I understand it's not accessible for everyone, I really wanted to create something to help people crack this yo-yo dieting, because I really just want to it breaks my heart when I see people stuck in this cycle. Um, so I created this 6-week coaching to help break that. I've poured a lot of time and research, and yeah, I'm so excited about creating it to be able to help you even more. And this is called Misfit Club because, we're misfits here. And I love that. So I've poured so much into it to help even more of you, like I said, but there are limited spaces and I want to make sure that it's because I want to make sure people get the best quality out of it. So I never want to overstretch myself so that you're not getting the coaching that you deserve. So this is going to be starting on the 5th of Jan. However, if you sign up before the 21st of December, you will receive my guide on how to handle the festive season. So all these things that we've just talked about will be in the guide, okay? And you can start working on things as I've just gone through. And I don't want to leave you alone over this tough month either. So I have popped the link under this episode if you want more, but do not sit in this. As I said, the spaces are going to go and they are limited. But if you have any questions, you can get hold of me on Instagram on the link below. And I have popped this link to know more about Misfit Club under this episode. So I cannot wait to help you. Have a good one.